Hi guys, Icky here from UK Bully Life. Apologies in delay, but here's the video in regards to what we feed our dogs. Now, we don't claim to be any sort of experts in animal or dog nutrition, but this is what we feed our dogs and our experiences over the last 8 years of owning a dog. We'll be covering a few things and just showing you our routine in what we do and how we do it. This might be telling you something that you already know, but it also might not be. So for those of you that are new to the raw feeding, this might be showing you something to help, but also if you are looking to get a dog, this might help you as well. So what you will see is a bit of meal prep. First of all, what I do want to cover is when it comes to how a dog looks in terms of size, muscle, height, whether their head's large, big, small, especially when it comes to American bullies, it's almost all genetics in terms of how they look. You could feed them the best food in the whole world and they are still potentially going to turn out how they do. All it's going to do is matter on how healthy they are in terms of the rest of it. But end of the day, you want your dog to be healthy, so you want to feed them the best you can. But just be aware, shoveling loads down their throat will just cause an adverse effect rather than a positive. Once the meat's defrosted, we then obviously have it in an airtight container. End of the day, we don't want it to smell, and obviously then it's refrigerated to keep it cool and stop it going off as well. Now, our dogs here at UK Bully Life, they are on a raw diet. Now, when people say raw, what does that consist of? That will be raw meat, natural fruits and veg mixed up, but it's not in the sense where, right, you can get any form of meat and just give it them. They could eat that, yeah, they are carnivores. However, the mince meat that you want to go for is a complete mince. Otherwise, what you would be potentially doing is just buying a plain meat and then having to supplement a mixer biscuit or something to mix with it in order for the dog to make up what it needs dietary wise. However, with us here, we purchase a complete mince which contains 80% meat, 10% bone and 10% offal, mixed amongst fruit and veg with pretty much every meal, and we mix it up, whether it's broccoli, cucumber, strawberry, carrots, with a variety of fruit and veg. And what we did start off with in terms of meat wise, when Blue was obviously a young and pup, we started off with chicken as it's a lot milder, and then obviously after sort of 5 or 6 weeks, then we slowly introduced different meats in. In terms of the amount that we feed, it's all generally sort of based on age and weight. You can go online and find some sort of raw diet calculator. So for example, if they are weighing however many kg, it will say to eat this many grams of meat, protein, this amount of other, and mix it up as you will. But it is all sort of weight wise and measured that way. You can't, like as I mentioned earlier, you can't cram a lot down them. All that will end up doing is backing them up, and they just don't eat because they're just full, and it's not generally good for their joints and their bodies itself and their digestive systems. So it is important not to overfeed them. We obviously experienced that when we thought, yes, we want to get Rio massive, we want him boned up, massive head, wide as and boned up. But when we obviously did have him as a young pup, again, like I said, he just ended up not eating his food eventually. But obviously that is important, I must stress that. Why we chose raw? I mean, when we got hold of Blue and we brought Blue home, he was on a raw diet. So the more and more I looked into it and I saw the benefits for it, as they call it, a raw and a commercial diet, commercial being in a sort of man-made biscuit. I looked more and more into the raw. So Blue's always been on raw and saw the benefits from it. And then I moved Rio also onto the raw as well. And since then, what I can notice difference wise, his coat's shining more, he seems to have more energy. He obviously, as a dog owner, if you know, obviously his stool itself is a lot smaller. He doesn't have a bad breath anymore, and he also smells a lot cleaner as well. And he doesn't smell, his smell as in such, how can I explain it, I don't know, but he doesn't smell anywhere near as he used to be, where he used to smell. So our guys get fed 3 times a day, Generally as an older dog, it's generally once or twice a day, but with us feeding Blue 3 times a day, we just reduce the portion size for Rio and we just feed him along with Blue, so it's all at the same time, no one's getting jealous, and that's how they're getting fed. Obviously Rio is an older dog, so theoretically he doesn't need as much as Blue does, as Blue is a growing dog. He's going to need more as he grows, and then eventually when he hits around 1 or just over 1, we'll then go from 3 feeds down to 2, morning and evening, and split it that way. Probably wondering, what does it cost in terms of feeding a dog on a raw diet? Generally it's not that far off from a commercial diet. We used to have to pay around about £30 for Rio's biscuits, which would last about 4 to 5 weeks, whereas now we've got 2 dogs. They're going through 3 bricks or 3 chub rolls per day, roughly 1 to 1.5 per day, but again that's matters on weight of the dog, certain weight and age. And on top of that, with your sort of mixed veg from any sort of run-of-the-mill shop, you're not paying any more than £1. Your broccoli's no more than 50-60p, and the broccoli usually lasts us a couple of days to a week. So that's how we generally do it. So in all to feed both of our dogs, it probably costs us around £75 to £80 per month. But we have actually sourced someone locally who is selling each sort of chub roll or brick for 80p per brick, so that should bring down the cost, and obviously we'll let you know if we go with that going forward. But yeah, I hope this video has been some sort of help, just sharing what we do. We don't claim to be any sort of experts, but this is what we do and this is how we feed our dogs. They're fed 3 times a day, the raw diet mixed with veg, and Blue will have goat's milk, full fat goat's milk, and that will be once to twice a day, but that won't be any more than 100ml across the whole day. Another massive thing here is hygiene. We generally wash and clean each bowl after they've been fed. We don't want any build up of bacteria, and the day they are going to be eating raw meat, and obviously we don't want to upset their stomachs or anything of that nature, so they're washed immediately after they've eaten. Their water bowls are washed twice a day as well and filled up with fresh water as much as they need it, and that's obviously what we do. We also worm them once a month as well, and that's obviously because they're eating the raw food as well, so we don't want them to have any sort of upset stomach of any sort. So that's another thing that we do here at UK Bully Life, and that's worming them once a month as well. We've got some exciting announcements to announce over the next coming weeks, so keep an eye out. There's going to be a few changes here at UK Bully Life, and a few exciting things happening. I want to thank everyone for the love and support since we started this channel. We do have lots of messages on a daily basis on our Instagram. If you don't follow us, please do follow us, and that is at UK Bully Life on Instagram. And also please hit that subscribe button, as it does show a lot of you who do watch our videos do not subscribe.